it says in the etymology dictionary and what it has in the Egyptian hieroglyphics dictionary. All right, and that's all I'll say. Peace.
Peace and love to you, brother Sheldon. Give thanks for those gems. Rise up, rise up, rise up. Okay, let's get to some of these messages. Get everybody involved in the conversation as we rise our vibration right here on the service street. Rise up, Empress. We say peace and love to you, Empress.
And I just want to add this really quickly, because I'm not on here to take over the show. I'm sorry, but it's just stuff. When something is on my heart, then I feel like I have to speak it, because I did back away for a good minute, just so that I can get myself together. And people has been asking me to come and speak and to be more vocal, because there's a lack of mothers in this, for real. But at the same time, it's necessary to have these conversations. So I just want to state, like, with knowing who you are, you'll be able to function a lot differently. And what I mean to say is that, for instance, if you have a job, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to die for your job, right? That's nationality. What you're willing to literally, you see how the military, they literally swear their life. I'm sorry, we have to think about how, when it comes down to what you would die for. If you have a job, you're not going to die for your job. But you would die for, what would you spill blood for? Your family, your land. Things you worked hard for. You want people in your kin, your closest of kin, to be the one to hold on to that and to look after that. Because that's the closest part of you that you know and you can see as a mirror here. That's what all this is about. We're trying to preserve some shit. Yeah, this is for perpetuity, but we're the trustees in this contract, this universal contractual agreement, to where we can be beneficiaries as a whole. People got to understand that. Maybe they got to go back into the trust law so they can understand the bonds that ties universally. You see what I'm saying? Islam.
And my beautiful Empress, never ever feel like taking over this show. This space is for you, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have no voice talking. So rise up, Empress. Give thanks to the Mars. Your vibration is welcome. Peace and love to you, beautiful gems as usual. And I'm definitely pushing your voice out on the radio station, because you're saying, when the Mars talks, the sons and the daughters will listen. So rise up, Empress, each and every time. Let's take this one from our brother L. Peace and love to you. Welcome to the platform, brother.
What? Jamaican Moors? Come on, brethren, no.
Peace and love. Let's take this one from Empress.
Rising Empress, Grand Rising. He also asked, how far back can the Moors be traced? Thanks.
Okay. Peace and love. So, Brother Sheldon or Brother Kudjo could answer that. As far can we chase the Moors back to the name Moors? Rise up. Let's take this one from our brother, Dr. Mattis. Rise up, peace and love.
Yeah, I got a question. Is that red flag with the green star, is that the flag of the Moors? Is that correct? Moor descendancy, whatever you want to say?
Rise up, brother. We'll get to that question. And Wesley Pantaleon, welcome to the platform with a peace and love to you.
Family is the way to secure a happy future. And it's like, women are underappreciated except for, material purposes. People want a woman who either works or gives good sex, but like, it's not about any of that shit. It's about a woman being able to freaking tame the beast inside of the man and drive him to success, The best way to do that is with family. Create a family with your loved one, with your significant other. That's why like the government tries to tear down people's families, because they know that's where the power is. You wanna fucking guarantee a future for your future generations. You start a family and you build.
Rise up, peace and love to you, brother. Yes, brother Kudjo, a few questions there, a lot of them there. So I want to put Empress when you remind me of how far can you trace back the word more to?
But like
Timeline.
Brother Sheldon
Timeline.
just said, E. Wallace Budge, hieroglyphic dictionary has more in it. Hieroglyphic. How far
So that's
back do
before-
hieroglyphics go?
So that's even before Africa, the word alphabet
Okay.
exists.
Alright.
Before the so-called slavery exists.
Alright. So if more is mentioned in hieroglyphics, and then it takes people to write down hieroglyphics. The hieroglyphics don't just appear out of nowhere. Somebody carved those in stone, right? So the people who carved in stone Maur, wouldn't they have to be around before hieroglyphics in order to carve the hieroglyphics?
That's right.
Okay.
That's
And
answers
just
that.
Yeah, I just wanted to add on to what Kudjo was saying too. It's important that people start connecting the dots to different information. So, with that said, then I'll give out a couple other books that you're gonna have to read to get all the info. Check out Saga America by Barry Feld, America BC by Barry Feld. Check out When Rocks Cry Out by Horace Butler. Check out Unexpected Faces and maybe I'll leave that one out. Unexpected Faces in Ancient America, I'll leave that one out. Just check out the two Barry Feld books and When Rocks Cry Out, and then
and
start
Time Walker.
connecting the dots.
What about Time Walker?
Oh yes, and the Time Walker. Yeah, but I don't know if
That might be too far.
yeah, that might be too far because I'm just tying in strictly the Moor thing and the Egyptian hieroglyphics.
Right.
I'm just tying in that.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I would say America BC and Saga America
And when rocks cry out.
When Rocks Cry Out.
Yeah.
So all of those should tie to the hieroglyphics dictionary, and it does go beyond that as well, but I'll just leave it at that for now, and that's all I'll say. Peace.
Peace and love, brother. Give thanks for those information there. The rise of vibration. We got 30 minutes at the top of the hour. I don't know if our brother John, if you want to make an intention, brother, before we get to these messages. Peace and love to you.
No, I'm straight. Go ahead.
Alright, let's get to these messages. Rise up, our brother. So in regards to the flag here, the question the brother was asking if that's the Moorish flag. Because a lot of people see it and they think it's a Moroccan flag, yeah? I don't know if you're brother Sheldon.
Yeah, well it is the Moroccan flag.
No, but you know the corporation Moroccan that they think it's that like a landmass in the north side of Africa.
Yeah, well if people knew geography, they would know that Morocco is a kingdom, and kingdoms are subordinate to empires, and you can't have a kingdom without an empire. So if there's a Moroccan kingdom, who's the Moroccan empire?
That's right. Hope that answers your question there, brother. So rise up. Let's get back this voicemail from my brother.
I feel like the reason man has civilization the way it is now is because women gave us a purpose to make life more easier for them, and our children.
Alright, right, so peace and love. Let's get these two messages from our Empress VC and one from our brother Ellie.
Peace to the gods. Just to add on to what the brother was talking about, family is being the best way to secure a happy future. You do that by nationality. You have these individual families that will come together to showcase one last name. You know what I mean? In a sense, because I know you got the elder beta day out, but you know that's Moorish though. You know that's a Moor when you see that name. So just hone in on that when you get in this Islam.
Nationality is the art of the day.
Oh, and just a note with the hieroglyphics or the Meta Nature, right? That the vowels didn't count. It was all constants. You okay? So you're talking about the B, C, all of that. So when you look at the hieroglyphic sort of miniature, that's MR that you're pronouncing, which still utters the same sound phonetically.
Islam, Empress.
Islam. I just wanted to comment on that really, really quick, and she's correct. So I know, people are, when they go to the hieroglyphic dictionary, they're going to see MAUR and get the meaning, and then they're going to say, well, in hieroglyphics, they didn't have the vowels, which is correct. Now, when I had a conversation with an Egyptian brother on a bus, when I told him about that, he said, he pronounced it, and he said, yeah, that's right. Now, this is why I said, you take that meaning and then you go to the etymology dictionary, because you'll see the link between the etymology and that meaning there, if you want to see the link, because there's some people that just don't want to see the link. That's why I'm saying, that's why I'm not telling you to just go get the books, right? So once you see that link, then you'll realize how, how it got put to that point, even though that there was no vowels, but then the vowels then appeared later on, based on how the word was pronounced. Right? So I'll just leave it at that.
Brother. Rise up. It is one for my brother LA.
Where in the hieroglyphics, though? Because if it was Upper Egypt and Kemet, then that wouldn't be your people. Those are after the Hyksos invasion, when your brothers, the Arabs from the Middle East, the first people who left out the motherland, came back and destroyed and raped your own people. Well, their own people, as all of the trade agents started here: gold, iron, stone, all that shit. So for the simple fact that if the hieroglyphics was written not in Lower Egypt, or at least in Nubia, Sudan, which is right next to Lower Egypt, then Moabites is just descendant of after the Hyksos invasion, which is the slaves, just like a Moor. How do you get a Moor? Well, you need a Greek or a Roman, which they're the same people anyway, even though they split. But you need a Greek or a Roman plus a Nubian plus an Arab, a Chaldean, a Phoenician.
And a Greek.
I have the etymology book, the Oxford. Sorry, let me read the front of it, right? The Oxford Dictionary of English Etymology, edited by C.T. Onions with the assistance of J.W.S. Fredrickson and R.W. Birchfield, the world's most trusted reference book. Well, when we talk about Moor, Black, or anything Ethiopian, all of that still originated in the Middle East, which is our brothers. It ain't the original man. That's Afro-Asiatic, not Afro.
So,
in the name of me, you're still looking at it from a separated mindset. Do you understand? We're all the same people, different tribes, same tree, different branches. Do you understand that?
Okay, to the brother who wants to speak about the hieroglyphics and when, the division between Upper and Lower Egypt, when you speak about the Moors, you're speaking about predating the word Egypt. You're talking about Hekupta. You're talking about the first when you say Moor. And this is why people need to understand why we even call ourselves Moor in the first place. There is, in any which way you study Moor, you're going to be right. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. From the good, the bad, the evil, all of that, you're going to find that more is more. All the way around. 360 times 2. Okay? Islam.
Peace. Wow, peace.
Peace. I just wanted to comment really quick, and I wanted to answer that brother right away because I forgot his name. I forgot it, what his title was. But this, and this is no, I'm not jabbing at the brother or anything like that at all, at all. But this is the perfect example of a brother does not have the hieroglyphics dictionary. He doesn't have it. Based on, I'm assuming that he doesn't have it. So if you don't have that, the conversation you can't have a conversation of it, because you're going off of certain books that you have, and you have the etymology, and you're going back to Greek and all that stuff. If you don't have that hieroglyphics dictionary, and you don't study, you don't do research on what the meaning is, right, then you won't know what part of Egypt or when in Egypt it was there. And that's why I'm not going into that, because I had this exact same thing pretty much with Mushrak, and then I went through 20 minutes of explaining everything, and then at the end he's just like, but then Moor doesn't mean whatever, it still means black or whatever. I'm not doing it anymore. That's why I'm saying you need to get the books. If you don't have the books, we can't have the conversation. We just can't, unfortunately. So if you don't have the hieroglyphics dictionary, and you don't go into the meaning and say, okay, well, it says this here, now where does that take me? And you go into there and you research that, and then you find out, because that question that you had of what time of Egypt, it once you research the meaning, you get that answer, right? And I did a video on this 4 years ago, going into all of that, and I'm not doing it again. So you have to get the hieroglyphics dictionary by you. You have to get that and research what they say the meaning of Moor is, and then all those answers will come up. Peace. And then you'll see how it ties into the Greek and all that stuff, because obviously the hieroglyphics predate Greek and Latin and all that.
That's right. Okay.
And again, going back to this thing of who's who and what's what, everybody knows that the whole concept of Hyksos people, they're Semitic. They're dark-skinned people. They're not Europeans. Arabs are not dark-skinned people. They're Europeans. Are not Europeans. All these people are dark-skinned. Arabs, Semitic, Phoenician, Greek, Roman, all those people anciently look like us. There's no Europeans that ran Rome. There's no Europeans that were Greek. Greeks are Etruscans. Etruscans are dark-skinned people.
But Kudjo, should we say call them Caucasian? Because when you say in Europe, then you know in Europe, I say call them Caucasians. Yeah, the Caucasians. No Caucasians.
Yeah, modern Europeans. All these people are modern. The modern ones aren't who we're talking about. If you're talking about somebody invaded Egypt from the Middle East, those people were dark-skinned. They weren't pale people, is the point that I'm making.
Peace, rise up, brother. Let's take these two messages. We've got a few messages here. Getting sharp up to the hour, the top of the hour. We give thanks to everyone who's blessed whilst you on the platform. We give thanks for your vibration. Let this thing from this one, my brother Ellie.
The fact that you say y'all call yourselves Moors, no, the Roman Empire or the Greek Empire called us Moors. It wasn't we called ourselves Moors. We didn't even call ourselves black. I mean, can we be real with the way these words were originated? The etymology book references when these words came about. Most of these words didn't even come about during Sanskrit, but more during the Hellenistic period.
Yeah, but the point of saying that we're Moors is because that's the last name we fell as a people around the world. The last name we fell as was Moors. So you're not going to get up as ancient Egyptians. You're not going to rise as Phoenicians. You're not going to rise as Carthaginians if you fell as Moors. This is basic. If you fall down in the kitchen, you're not getting up in the bathroom. This is basic. But our people's mindset, again, going back to this thing about the insanity, right? Our people like to do the same thing over and over and over again, right? And the thing that our people like to do over and over and over again is listen to everybody else except themselves. And then want to know how come you're lost. But I yield the floor.
Yeah, I just wanted to add. Now Now I'm even more glad that I didn't go into the explanation, because the brother is going back to etymology and he's not going to the hieroglyphics dictionary that predates it. That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing that I had with. This is the whole discussion that I had with Mushrak. I'm giving you a source that you have to go back to that predates the Greek and Latin. But then somebody's arguing the Greek and Latin. And even in the etymology, when you go to etymology online and you read more, it says, it goes into the fact that there could be a previous, I'm paraphrasing, there could be a previous meaning to it. So this guy's proving my point, with all due respect to him. He's proving my point why I didn't even bother going into the description, because this is exactly what always happens. People are arguing stuff about information that they don't have, but based on the information that they do have, and I'm giving them more information, and they're not taking the more information, they're just sticking on the information that they have.
That's right.
And on top of that, I domicile in Germany, so I have those etymology dictionaries that are in German and stuff like that. That's the thing. So that's why I just don't even bother. That's why I said, these are the books, do your own research. If you really want to know what it is, you will go buy the book and you'll actually study. So clearly, in my opinion, and it's no disrespect to the brother, he doesn't really want to know. He's just sticking on what he knows, and that's fine. But I'm not gonna explain it. If you really want to know, you'll go buy the dictionary, you'll read the meaning, and then you'll start tracing it back. And then eventually, based on the meaning on the hieroglyphics, you'll eventually get to, and Kudjo said it best. I don't even know why I'm rambling. Hieroglyphics predates Greek and all that.
That's right, brother. And I was saying,
so I'm even rambling. You know what I mean? That ain't it.
Brother Ikon, I don't know if you have any extra time. We could go over a little bit if you need to.
Yeah, we can go over a little bit. But to be quite honest, you see, I'm not going to do this mushra with this brother on this conversation, because you know what? These recordings are very important, because I know I want people to listen to it. And as you're saying, you told him that's something that's predated. He's left a few mentions. No respect to your brother, because we're learning here. But if you're not listening to what we're saying, you can't come back and say the same thing, because you're talking about something that's coming after the hieroglyphics. That's what you're relating to, so it doesn't make sense. Go back to the root. That's one thing with our people. We love to say we honor our ancestors, but we like to stop halfway to our ancestors. We don't like to go to the first ancestors. We've got a problem with that. And it's a sting in our psyche that they program us to not do. And then we would take information from people that don't look like us. And when people that look like us are giving our information, we think we're telling, we're not honest about what we're saying. We're off and over. But I just want to keep it, very tight and compact with beautiful information, so we can rise a nation and not a family or a group. Peace and love.
Islam. All right, look, I just have to get this out. Brother Sheldon, you're speaking in a tone in which I'm running into a lot of Moors who have studied and who do know and are putting in the application with the information that they are finding. You're speaking in that tone to where it's like, okay, if you're serious about it, even if just as much as I'm serious about it, you would get far. You wouldn't be asking the questions that you're even asking. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm catching how you were able to even make an assumption off of the brother not having the dictionary because just off of the question. And this is why we have to study. And when you're finished studying and you have a question, study yourself, because it will show itself. Peace. Just to add on to what brother Kudjo was talking about, as far as we're ancient and how they look like us anciently, just go to the British Museum. I'm very sure that rvbaypublications.com still have the picture of King George III. Now, King George III was reigning the same time as George Washington being general. Okay? Now just plug that in. And then also plug in how George Washington was writing letters. Okay? He was writing letters back and forth, communicating with Moors about how he owed ties to them, how he just landed, and the soil is rich, and we'll pay you back, and then some. That's what the letter he wrote to the Sultan of Morocco. Right, just to add on to what Kudjo was saying, we're the custodians of the secret sciences, because Moor is known as the highest title of Anu. People forget that the priests were the ones that the people went to for healing, for mental clarity. That's who you go to when you need an oracle. Okay? But the priesthood is dead right now. The priesthood is dead. Why? Because the veils have been open. Nobuju Ali let it out. He laid it to where people can go about it the way they need to go about it to save themselves. This is not a joke thing. This is not fake. If you understand and you know how to manifest, you will take this information, you will lock yourself in a room, and you will study. That's it. Study, absorb, learn yourself. Islam.
Risi, I love you. I can feel the energy and vibration. And that's what you're saying.
And another thing too that's interesting, that all these people who want to debate Moors, all these people, whoever they are, whether they're on this, whether they're on YouTube, whether they're on Instagram, Facebook, whatever, all these people who want to debate Moors and say that they're not Moors, they're whatever that they claim that they are, 99% of them, when we ask them, prove it, they're going to go in their pocket and they're going to pull out state license, and they're going to pull out state passport, and they're going to pull out some stuff with some European name on it, but then they're debating Moors when Moors could pull out national identification card to prove who we are. So if they're so ancient Egyptian, and if they're so Chaldean, and so Phoenician, and so Hebrew Israelite, and so Nation of Islam, and so Pan-African, and all that stuff, how come that's not their ID? How come they're giving me a license that has a European name on it? Or how come they're giving me some court document that they went to the European court to change their name when that's the people that colonized you? How you going to them to change your name? Isn't that a contradiction?
And Brother Kudjo, to add to what you said, these people let this corporation give them an ID and identity. And when you read the hieroglyphics and what it's saying, who are the Moors, you need to in the ID, because it's saying, you look at your skin tone, and if you're born with a navel, with a navel, that's it, you're a Moor. But we will rather go around, because even the situation we're talking about us having an ID, we didn't really need that back in the days, because we're in a corporation world. So we have to kind of say that, but we have a national ID, a nation ID. With these people have corporation ID, and they would run with that, you know what I mean? And you could actually look at them and define who they are. You don't even need an ID to do that, you know, and that's why you have some different group and so-called families trying to create this type of ethnic group and, separate us. But we've got a few messages. Let's take these two messages from Empress in Broken Voices. Rise up, Empress. Peace and love to you.
Peace and love. I did send in a voice note. I sent in a few, but it seems like they didn't go through. I send love to all of my brothers who are speaking. Love, love, love. This. Kudjo, you give me a joke about if you feel done in the kitchen, you don't get up in the bathroom. What a good one. That's a real good one. Sending love to everybody who's listening on the show. The more you go into yourself is the more you understand what everyone is saying, in regards, with concerns to being a Moor and what that means. It's literally just being more you. Well, not literally, but it's actually just being more you, bringing that out, and it's recognized, it holds weight all the way around the world. But we need to effectuate that. What it is, Sheldon, is that is speaking on a different frequency. So we can't even be upset about it. Do you get what I mean? At this point, we need to just be speaking and holding these conversations. It doesn't even matter. Do you get what I mean? To be fair, wherever they're at, that's how they're going to always see it. But, in a few months, 6 months from now, it will click for them, willing, if they are in tune. Do you know what I mean? It does take a while. This whole it takes as long as the person or that one will allow it to take. But yeah. we just have to continue to speak, and I think that to a certain extent we shouldn't even water it down, because those who is for it will reach. You know what I mean? The universe, the Most High Creator, Allah has a way of Oh, Sister Reese, Empress, Goddess, you have listened. It's so beautiful to hear you speak. Seriously. But it's so beautiful. It really is. Just to let you know. There is a lack of the mother's voice. Who knows, who has the knowledge. So yeah, just picking you up, sis.
I just want to add this on. Yesterday there was a live that I went on, and I I was pissed to say the least. Okay, and the conversation boiled down to where I'm like, yo, I will show you my paperwork. You see what I'm saying? Like, he was asking, like, where's the ref? Where is it? I said, yo, I got the paperwork. It says it on my paperwork. I represent that. I'm the descendant. It's me. I'm standing in front of you, telling you the story, right? And you still don't believe. You still don't see it. You still can't catch it. So it comes down to, like, why are you even calling on the energy? Why are you calling on the energy if when it comes you're questioning it to the point of discrediting it? You understand what I'm like? People really have to just go in a room and study, for real.
Rise up, Empress. Brother Sheldon, you want at a point to go to a few more messages? You got one. Rise up, brother Nova Adam Bay. My fan, rise up, brother, always standing by my side. Peace and love to you. Brother Sheldon, you want to shine in something?
Yeah, like, I mean, and that's just like, Empress Reese was saying, and, the brother, like, and she was actually, the Empress was actually being a lot more, if you want to say, literal about it, in the sense that I'm here telling you this is what it is. I'm no longer going that. I'm giving you the references to go do it yourself. So the fact that, this person is still here arguing about stuff where the references that I gave you will give you the answers, that tells me that you're not really serious about asking that question. And then if the meaning of Moor is in the hieroglyphics dictionary, and then it translates then to Latin and Greek and so on and so forth, and you do the research and you see the connection, clearly, if the Greek people, or the Greeks and Etruscans and whatnot, whatever, got it, came after that, clearly the people, or the Moors from the hieroglyphics dictionary, had to introduce themselves, if you want to say, for lack of better words, as that word for the Greek and Latin people to use it in their language. But that's kind of, you know what I'm saying? So that's why it's just like, and like Empress Invoking was saying, if you really want to know, you'll do the research. When I got on this information, I wasn't talking about it. The first thing I talked about was, okay, I'm walking around Germany and I'm seeing Moor's Pharmacy and I'm seeing all this stuff, right? But any historical stuff, I wasn't talking about any historical stuff for the first 5 years because I was studying. I was studying, and I was paying for class. I was studying under Asir the Duke of Tears, and I was paying for classes, one class a month for 5 years before I even started talking about anything. And so and then it continued. Obviously, I'm still studying, right? So that's what I'm saying. I'm giving you the reference. If you really and truly want to know, you'd halt the conversation, go get the reference, do the research yourself, and then come back. You can't fast track this stuff. Everybody wants, the microwave thing. Nah, if you really want to know, you take the time out. If you want to make the NBA, you don't go out and practice for a week and then say you're ready to make the NBA. No, you practice for years and then you get your shot. It's the same thing. And that's all I'll say with that. Peace.
Peace, brother. Peace and love. I've got some few messages here. Let's get to these messages from our brother Noble Adam Bay. Peace and love to you. Islam, brother.
Islam. I probably missed the whole show. I want to say peace and blessings to everybody on the platform, to all the nobles and all the goddesses, divine mothers. I'm just sending my love.
And that's what I'm trying to get at, Kudjo. During the Hyksos invasion, those Phoenicians linked up with the Hittites and the Chaldeans as they were the makeup of the Sumerian civilization, and the Hyksos invasion was them. And that's what I'm trying to get at, Kudjo. During the Hyksos invasion, those Phoenicians linked up with the Hittites and the Chaldeans as they were the makeup of the Sumerian civilization, and the Hyksos invasion was them linking together and going back to the motherland and taking it over. I mean, that's just the facts. It's the facts to the truth, not the facts to the false information. This is not misinformation. This is just what actually happened. And this is why all religions are only based in the Middle East. None of that shit has to do with the motherland, because the Phoenicians, like how you said, our brothers, the ones who were dark complexion, right? The Phoenicians, the Chaldeans, and so forth, the ones who weren't from the Mediterranean, right? Okay, but all in all, you can't act like internalized capitalism never existed. Babylon was people who created a power structure. But hieroglyphics means sacred text in English, so that means that hieroglyphics books wasn't even written, that dictionary wasn't even written by your own kind. But I'm gonna look it up though. I'm looking it up right now as we speak, and I will buy that book only because you recommended it. Peace. So wait, is all this information just coming from Timothy Drew specifically, or is this also outside sources where you didn't get any type of footprint from Timothy Drew to learn this stuff? Because again, I mean, that's just like going off of Marcus Garvey as if he didn't learn from Deuce Muhammad. You know, but again, Deuce Muhammad didn't know shit about Sudan. He was still wearing a fez, a tarbush. But he didn't even understand the whole purpose of why motherfuckers had a tarbush. Kudjo. Let me tell you something about that name. You talk about these motherfuckers having European names, but you have a Middle Eastern name in your name, El. El is not Al. Al comes first before El. El is Hebrew. Al is from the motherland. But you are Moor. You're supposed to know this.
El is not Hebrew though, because El comes from the Canaanites.
That doesn't make no sense, Sheldon. The victor gets to rewrite the history. What did the Jewish family, the Alexanders, do? What did Alexander the Great come and do? He conquered the land, because the land was already divided up from the Hyksos invasion and Arabs nation. I mean, it's been a whole lot of internalized capitalism in that motherfucking land, the motherland. But all in all, for you to even say, well, that's the way we address that. No, hell no. Because that's a description. It's still a description. It's not a title.
How's a noun a description?
It's not a title.
How's a noun a description?
Oh my God.
This is the incompetence we're talking about.
The origin of these people come from the Middle East. The Mughal Empire, the Moor Empire, all of this come from the Middle East. That's all I'm saying.
Right, and look at. Go ahead, Moore. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me just comment. You see what I'm talking about? This is exactly.
Quick one, Sheldon. Quick one. Brother Ellie, as I was saying, we play this recording on my radio show. So if you're going to give an interjection, please do not use any swear words. You can express yourself as much as you can, but please do not use any swear words. I'm going to have to block that part out because your information won't be played. But as you say, just please don't do any swear words. But
I wasn't swearing.
No,
this is exactly what I'm saying.
No, I'm talking about the brother leave the voice note or whatever. Brother Ellie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, please don't.
Yeah, but you see, this is exactly what I'm saying. So he's talking about Alexander the Great and all this stuff and so on and so forth. But then he was asking about when did Moor come around, like what Egyptian dynasty, right? And so you get the book and you do the research and it gives you that information, and then it'll give you the relation to when, quote unquote, Alexander the Greek, not the Great, destroyed the Library of Alexandria. All of that you get from, but he's still arguing the point. This is what I'm saying. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is exactly what I'm saying. Like it's a waste. It's an absolute waste.
And the confusion comes around because of the whole mixing and matching the stories. One side you're talking from the victor's position. One side you're talking from the people who lost the war's position. There's going to be confusion. Stick to the script. There's no such thing as motherland that isn't Pangea. There's no motherland that isn't when the world was one continent, supercontinent. If you're talking about motherland and then you're bringing up some African continent, that's a fiction. There's no such thing as Africa being the motherland, because if you talk to Australians, they never been to Africa and they say that they're the founders of civilization. Go ask them. They say they've been on the planet longer than anybody else. The Aborigines of Australia, and their noses are bigger than people on the continent. Their lips are bigger than people on the continent. So you can't disconnect them from the motherland just because that's not Africa. That is also Africa, because all the world was one landmass. America's Africa, Europe's Africa. You're talking about Middle East, like the great Ashra Kwesi asked the question, if there's a Middle East, where's the Middle West? Where's the Middle North? Where's the Middle South? And nobody ever brings that up, but they keep bringing up Middle East when there's no such thing as the Middle East. And then when you challenge them on that, they're going to say, oh, well, we're just talking like that so our people could understand. Because you're talking like a colonizer. Why would you say Middle East if you know that there's no such thing as that? How is East middle? Use your common sense. And then we're supposed to take what these people are saying serious, and then we're supposed to disregard Europeans or Asiatics who got PhDs and all that stuff and wrote books for us to know what the hell is going on. But we don't want that. We want to have these emotional debating contest things as if what anybody's saying is wrong. Everybody has a point. I'm not denying that people have points. What we're saying is that our people today, 2021, they are descendants of the founders of civilizations. The founders of civilizations went by many names. We know 1 billion years ago, no one was calling themselves Moors. We know that. We're not dumb. We know the last name that we fell as is Moors. So in order for us to rise, we're going to have to rise as Moors. You can't rise as ancient Egyptians because that fell already. You can't rise as Malians because you just said that the Moors went in there and conquered them. So how are you going to rise as them? And you just said that history gets told by the victor. Well, the Moors are the victors. Because we're the only ones who are left. There's no one else left that you can claim. Everybody else is under the Moroccan Empire. And the Moroccan Empire been around for at least the past 800, 900 years. The Moroccan Empire has been around. Present Moroccan Empire. How? Because there's a Morocco right now. And that Morocco is a kingdom. And kingdoms are part of empires. What empire is the Moroccan kingdom part of? And they're not part of the British Empire, because Britain isn't an empire. Britain and England and all that's not even a country. Europe's not even a continent. Europe's in Asia. And all these people who are dark skinned on the planet are Asiatic. That's why the world was called Asia. When we start talking about that, then people want to debate about are they Chinese and they're not Taiwanese and all that, as if that's what was said. which again goes back to what Brother Sheldon was saying of people not studying, people taking what they think they know. They study for 2 days and they think that they're a scholar and they want to come on people's platform and talk crazy as if they shouldn't get lynched for treason. I yield the floor.
Rise up, brother.
Yeah, I just wanted to add one more thing. So to the brother, I mentioned a bunch of different books, right, that'll get you through the meaning. All those books tie into everything that you're saying. Everything that you're saying. It ties into, you're talking about Egypt and these areas and where they were from. All of that ties in, bro. But you have to actually get the books and read it, because I'm not going into it again. That's what you have. If you truly want to know what it is, you have to study. You have to do it yourself. I gave you the references, and there's more I could give you, but I just stuck with those. Was it 3 references? 4 references. Mm-hmm. And that is going to lead you to more stuff, and then you'll be able to connect the dots. With that, I yield.
And I'll put one more reference point out there, that if you're talking about Hittites and Canaanites and Israelites and all that stuff, you need to get yourself a metaphysical Bible dictionary so you could know what these words mean metaphysically, and you could get out of the mindset that this is some historical thing that you're talking about when you mention Canaanites and Moabites and all that. That's not historical. That's metaphysical. Those aren't people that walk the planet. Those are states of consciousness. We weren't back then to know who those people were. But we know with the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary that if you're talking about Hittites, you're talking about thoughts. You're not talking about people. If you're talking about Canaan, you're talking about consciousness. You're not talking about people. And if we can't get over that part, then you're definitely not going to understand anything else that comes in the physical form if you don't understand the metaphysical form. Because the metaphysical comes before the physical. In whatever religion that you want to claim is your religion. Metaphysics comes first. The historical stuff comes after. But I yield.
Peace, brother. Peace.
Sorry, Kudjo just sorry, brother. I can be real quick. Kudjo just reminded me of something based on that. One more reference. Pioneers of France in the New World. All right, pioneers of France in the New World. That also ties into the Canaanites and Moabites and all that stuff. And I'll leave it at that. Peace.
So, brother Ellie, we as the Moor Nation, we are here to rise a vibration, and we give thanks. I hope you're taking this knowledge, because this show we normally do for 2 hours, and a situation just before, like we got a mushrock where we went over to try to rise the vibration of our brother, and just talking to a dead heart. So we're not talking from our mouth, we're not talking from our emotion, we're giving you books. And you say you want to find out information, so just go and get these books and read. It will be on the platform. And it will be beautiful if you could be a man and let us know, what, brothers, he was right. Because see, as we start as a nation, that's when we're going to start growing. But a lot of our brothers, they come and talk to us and they get the facts, and when they find out, they never come and say, what, Moses, you were right. That's all we need to do. We've got some message here. Rise up the Empress Reese, rise up the Empress of Broken Voices, rise up to our brother Vince Beer. We're going to drop these messages and hear what our nobles have to say. Peace and love to you all.
Islam. I just have to get at the brother who, in the name of me, 9? Okay. I just want to talk to you for a minute about how you're talking about the Hyksos and all that. Right? Again, your time reference. Okay? Okay. The UN DRIP, right? Declaration of Rights of Indigenous People. They tell you you have a right to a nationality and you can choose your nationality. Okay? When they say that, they're letting you know that you can literally choose the time frame, the time reference, the reference point, the fulcrum in which you see as your point of reference for your ancestry. Okay? That's what's going on. Now, if you want to choose the Hyksos, if you want to choose First Dynasty, Egypt, right? That's on you. That's where you begin. That's where you feel that your timeline starts. Right? No. Again, the Moorish paradigm, we're starting from the beginning. We're starting from the conception. Know that when you say more. Know that when you say more. It is not something you can date. It predates itself. You see what I'm saying? Before language can even, before you can utter the word more, a more was on this plane, working. You see me? On that idea, Islam.
Ashe.
The Middle East. What's going on?
Yo, hearing people like this, I understand exactly why the GS has to scimitar these people sometimes. Makes sense. Yo, hearing people like this, I understand exactly why the GS has to scimitar these people sometimes. Makes sense. See.
Oh, sorry. Peace and love. Rise up to brother DT was on mute. I say we have about, I want to take it about next 3 more minutes. Because I say, maybe we can continue to talk about that. We could start back on the platform a different show because I really want this show to be playing on the radio. A lot of information. This show today went very beautiful. So I'm going to take it to the half past. So in 2 minutes, let's take this message from my Empress Reese. Peace and love to you.
Islam. Kudjo. Okay, so look. To add on to what you're saying, talking about the empire and the kingdom, also note that when George Washington was writing to the Sultan, okay, not the king of Morocco, the Sultan, okay, he was there talking about the what he owed to the empire, okay. There was no kingdom around when George Washington was hitting the scene. When King what's his name, George III of Britain was on the scene. All right, there was no there was the empire, but there was no kingdom around. So note chronology when you're talking about history, and notice that history and law go hand in hand. Islam,
Sister, Islam. Peace and love, brother Kudjo. You didn't chime in on anything there. I got another message here. Peace and love. Let's take this last message from our brother Elliot. I hope this last message, what we've been listening so far. You sent this one about 20 past. Not sure, you see, rise up.
See, why rise as ancient Egyptians when, again, in order to get Egyptian, you had to have the Hykso invasion. Before then, we were, look up Nobiin language, the Silo-Saharan language. The Nubians, or what the white man would call the Nubians, right? South Sudan, we could go all the way down to Botswana, to the Bushmen. We could go all the way down and up to the Congo. That's who I'm talking about. Before the DNA was ever tampered with from environmental changes and diet change, the knowledge was already here on the land, right? If you look up Nubia, Sudan, it predates all these other civilizations.
Yo, let me just does he have another one after that? So let me maybe just hear the whole thing.
Let me hear the next one, yeah.
All right.
I'm sorry, Kudjo. Then I mean the whole region of Turkey. That works. Iraq, Afghanistan, Turkey. We go there. I don't mean to say the Middle East then. I apologize. From now on, when I bring up these references, I will state the exact geographical location.
peace. I just want to note how in the name of Me9, I just want to note how he is speaking on divisions that were caused after the Treaty of Verona as well as the Treaty of Berlin, where they dissected Africa, because there is not truly 54 states of Africa. You have several tribes, and you have almost 100 languages on that continent alone. So, yeah, I just want to point that into anybody who is listening to this man talk. Again, history and law goes hand in hand. You cannot separate the two. Islam.
Lama. Yeah, go ahead, brother Sheldon.
Yeah. I'm going to ask this brother now. He's talking about, Sudan and all these places. My question to him is, what year is he talking about? So if he's there and he can answer that.
Yeah, he's here. Yeah,
okay, so exactly what year are you talking about?
Let's play this message from his last message, and then I'm sure he'll send a message after that. Give thanks.
And who was he linked up with? The Alexanders was linked up with the Flavians, and they was also linked up with the Herods. Where the Herods come from? But again, look, I'm not trying to do nothing but have a healthy debate, because I'm only learning. This is why I came here. I came here to ask questions and learn more than to try and fight a stance, because I can't do that. I'm not in your organization to do such, but I also want to point out the internalized capitalism that has been going on in our ancestors past, and is still going on now in current times. We're internalized capitalists on our own people. We're capitalizing on our own people. This has always been the information. All of this has been the way it's been, where people are being left in the dark.
2 points. One, that because this is maybe the third or fourth time you're talking about some internalized capitalism or whatever. Capitalism is a modern thing. That's not new. Colonization is what our people did, and colonization isn't bad. Egypt colonized America. Tahuti had colonies in America, and they were prosperous, and they were beautiful, and everybody loved it. So colonization is not a negative. It's who's colonizing is the problem. And secondly, we're talking about Herod. Herod was from Judea. He's a king of Judea. So what do you mean? What do you mean Herods? What are Herods? There's no such thing. Those people are Judean. Herod ain't no nation of people. That's an individual. Herod the Great is an individual. He was a king of Judea. So if they were from Judea, doesn't that mean dark-skinned people? Doesn't that mean melanated people? If you're talking about Roman is a nationality, and then we're talking about Herod, who's Roman, but he's from Judea. Obviously, there's no Rome. Obviously, Rome's a fiction. And it goes back again to the whole point of the mixing and matching. Just like he's saying, oh yeah, well, I'm going to this thing and we're talking about the Nubians and their language. We're speaking English right now. Ain't nobody speaking goddamn Nubian right now. Are you bringing up Nubian as if you're a master of Nubian language or something like that? That's irrelevant. We're speaking English right now, 2021. Ain't nobody speaking Nubian right now. Bring somebody who speaks Nubian right now. And guaranteed, if they start talking, you're not going to know what the hell they're talking about. So shut the hell up about talking about some other language. We're speaking English. In English, a dark-skinned person is a Moor, period. We're not speaking any other language. And it's that simple. Everybody wants to debate something and make some stuff advanced. This stuff is not advanced. Use your common sense and free yourself from mental slavery. It's that simple. People who like to keep it advanced, they don't want to be free. They love being slaves. I yield.
Islam, brother, beautiful point. Let's take this one from our brother Ellie again. He wants to say peace and love.
Well, see, unfortunately, if I go with a year, I'll be going off an interpreted year. So all I can say is the pre-dynastic period, before the dynastic period started. Now, the perfect indication for how the dynastic period started was, again, the Hyksos invasion. So everything before the Hyksos invasion, which was the pre-dynastic period, that's all I'm talking about, and only on the motherland. I mean, I know we travel everywhere else, sure, fine. But everywhere else has a lot of stories about war and so forth. The land, you see the walls. You see how they was in tune with nature and how they had the instructions on how we are one with nature, like the Ibris with Thoth, right? It's just like I said, the pre-dynastic. I can't give you an actual date because our ancestors don't know the date.
No, you just don't know the date. Don't blame it on the ancestors. You just don't know the date. Instead of making that long thing, you should have just said, I don't know what date I'm talking about. And then leave it at that. But nah, everybody wants to prove something. Opposed to just admit that they don't know what they're talking about. And leave it at that and then go study.
That's how we grow.
And just to add, like, so I appreciate the brother answering the question. But now, these books, especially when rocks cry out, especially that, these books that I gave you give you more information. This is why I gave those books out. And it helps you connect the dots. So I would recommend you do that. You read those books, then you start connecting the dots. And then if you have some questions, you come back, and then we can discuss like certain things that'll probably help clarify. But until you read those references that I gave you, we can't really have this conversation.
Waste of time. Waste of time.
You know, it's a waste of time. And I made, like I said, I made that mistake before dealing with Mushrock, and I'm not doing it again. Right? So all I could say to the brother is just get those books and read through them, and then you're gonna start. You should be able to start connecting the dots and stuff like that. And then we go from there. Peace.
And I want to rise up the brother. We give thanks for being on the platform, because I'm not going to say he's not as bad as Mushrock. You know, this brother, at least he's here. He's trying to learn. He's trying to overstand.
Yeah, for sure, for real. Like I have no, no disrespect. I have no disrespect. What's the word? Disdain or anything for him. Like, because he's not on the panel, but
looking for knowledge.
But yeah, I could see he's looking for information and stuff like that. Whereas, there's a saying, and I've said it before, some people listen to respond rather than listen to comprehend or listen to understand. And Mushrock listens to respond, because that's why he's always cutting you off every 2 minutes.
Yes.
Right? And so I don't get this, even though this brother is just leaving messages, I don't get that energy from him.
Yeah.
So I get it. That's why I gave him the books.
Yes.
And he said it himself. He said, he's going to go get the books. And that's dope. That's what you got to do.
That's a start. Yeah.
Yeah.
Peace. Let's let these two messages from our empresses rise up. Peace and love. Empress in broken voice and a beautiful empress. We see two beautiful empresses dropping some gem. It's so wonderful to have their energy and their vibration on the platform. Without the Mars, we would not be here.
That's funny you say that, yeah, in the name of me, because that's not how you was coming across at all. You was very, confrontational and talking like you knew everything, to be honest with you, my brother. So if you want to learn, sometimes you have to shut your mouth and listen. And listen not with your physical ears, but with your divine ears.
Peace. I heard what he said about the organization. He can't fight a stance with that organization because he's not part. Okay. Hear me when I say this. The Moor Science Temple of America is an organization, but the Moorish Americans of that organization have a nationality, they have a culture, they have a history, they have a community in which we are promoting to the public to let it be known that we have not died out. We are still here, and there's things that we need to take care of. That's the whole purpose of the Moorish Divine and National Movement. Okay? Again, the organization is the Moorish Science Temple of America. But as Moorish Americans, that's blood. That's flesh and blood that we're talking about. Okay? Islam. also going into what Kudjo was talking about, King Herod. Remember, King Herod was the one who was killing off the firstborn, and that's what made Yeshua want to run to Egypt to go amongst people who look like him, right? So no, when you're plugging in that history, understand it's always been us against us. It's always been us against us. But at the premise, we understand that we fell as Moors and we have to rise as Moors. That is the purpose of the nationality conversation. And if that is not the conclusion in which you're willing to get to, then the conversation shouldn't even be had. And I'm speaking directly to Mr. In the Name of Me 9, Islam.
Islam, peace and love, beautiful gem, beautiful gem. We got two here from our brother Noble Adam Bey. Islam, daughter, peace and love to you. Hope you'll be logging in, shining into the show tomorrow with our brother there, Mr. Wakeman. Peace and love to you, brother.
I'm sorry, I don't know how much time y'all got left, but real quick, brother Sheldon, brother Kudjo Bey, Islam TR. Probably should have said that, even though I said something like that. Could y'all say those books again? Cause yeah, that's kind of my error right there with the book. So what was that? And don't say it all fast, cause y'all do things like that, man. Can you just give me some time so I can write the book out, maybe say it so I can just copy it down real quick?
Right, so brother Sheldon. Let's play this last message from
all right.
Let's play this last message from our brother. Right, so peace and love.
I wouldn't even use the word melanated, only for the simple fact melon is what they say a Greek word for black or our people. Melanocytes come from a zoologist, a French zoologist, a Caucasian French zoologist. You know, same type of zoologist who was studying Darwinism. You know, well, I think he predated Darwinism. He was before Darwin. But all in all, it's still the same theology, ideology that they created to make us seem like we're animals, you know, because that's how the Romans created this whole narrative of us people to separate us and make us, you know, inferior as what they would say. Man, look, point is, internalized capitalism has always been a thing. Even if the word didn't exist, then the system has always been such. That is the power structure.
And I just want to comment, I actually agree with the brother not using melanin. I like using carbon, because once you use carbon and then you hear certain people talking about reduce the carbon footprint on the planet, then it gives you a different comprehension or understanding. Peace.
But you're the bomb, you're the job some gem, but look at you just brought that in, and that's the modern time they're talking about carbon footprint, yeah? And look again, brother, you see these people, I'm telling you, the brothers really taking some knowledge in peace and love. Let's take this one from our brother again, Islam.
Well, see, I say capitalism because the description of what happened is the same thing as capitalism. And yeah, you'll try to say capitalism deals only with money, but no, capitalism can be anything that you can capitalize on. Any type of resource, information, it doesn't matter what it is. It don't even have to exist, and you can still be a capitalist because you're capitalizing and taking advantage of someone else. That is capitalism. Is it not? The freedom to be able to take advantage, be in power. I buy up all the land and tell you now you got to buy it from me at whatever cost. I'm a capitalist.
Rise up. So brother Sheldon, if you can just list a book for our brother Noble Adam. Give thanks. He was asking for the list of the book that you read out, and he's saying, can you do it slower so we can write it properly?
All right, Noble Adams. It's Hieroglyphics Dictionary. It's Yewal Spudge. When rocks cry out, it's. I'm just messing. I'm just playing. All right, so you want to get the Hieroglyphics Dictionary by E.A. Wallace Budge. 1 second. So it's actually, the full-on title is An Egyptian Hieroglyphics Dictionary. E.A. Wallace Budge. It comes in 2 volumes. Where it has more, it's in volume 1. I'll even give you the page, 266. Right? So that's book number 1. second book you want to get is America, BC. By Barry Fell. Then there's Saga America, SAGA America, also by Barry Fell. Then there's When Rocks Cry Out. That book will have your jaw on the ground. You have to pick your jaw off the ground for that one, boy, because when I read that, So when Rocks Cry Out by Horace Butler. Then I also mentioned Pioneers of France in the New World. I forgot the author on that one, but it's not not that big of a book. But the gem, if you want to say, is in the footnotes. And normally the footnotes, that's where the super truth is. So yeah, get the gem in the footnotes. So I would just say those references for the meaning of Moor, in a sense, and tying everything together and stuff like that. And I'll leave it at that. If there's other books diving into the history of the Americas, Pioneers of France also deals with the history of the Americas, but then there's other books, dealing like Kudjo mentioned, Time Walker and stuff like that. But you don't need to get into that. If you just want the meaning of Moor, I would just say those books right there. And from those books, it's going to lead you into more and more information, and you'll be able to tie it all in together. So hopefully I said it slow enough for you, and you got it. All right. Love.
Peace, brother Sheldon. Give thanks for those knowledge. That's what we're saying. When you're talking about the Moors, it's so we give information and we don't ask you for no fiat or no money. That's why you must look at we're not an organization or we're not capitalist. Okay, we're giving you information that you can go anywhere in the world and stand in your square, and you can defend yourself in all situations.
There's one more thing I wanted to mention. And I remember studying this some years ago, and for some reason I never really decided to look up the flag, and then I found the flag, just a couple of weeks ago. So during the Revolutionary War, the quote-unquote Revolutionary War of the United States, they talked about a Negro fort that had a red flag flying, that was flying adjacent to a British flag, if I remember correctly. Kudjo, you could chime in here. Now, that red Negro flag is just all red, and what's interesting about it is if you look up the Alawite dynasty from 1666 to they're saying anyways, to 1795, it's one of the flags of Morocco. So what is a Negro flag in the Negro fort at the Americas flying this red flag, and that's the same flag as the Alawite dynasty from the Moroccan Empire? Something to think about. Yep. Peace.
Alright, so Brother Sheldon, let's take these two from Brother Adam. Hope you got those information. We didn't say too fast. Peace and love.
Hey, listen, that book, no joke. That book was way too deep for me. It made me start asking too many questions. I had to stop reading it. But yeah, I already got that book. Yes, give honors and give thanks. Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
Rise up, brother, rise rise up. Let's take this one from Empress Reese. Peace and love to you, Empress.
Islam, I just wanna note something really quickly about how he changed the definition of capitalism. Yes, you may be able to imply capitalism to certain situations, but you have to keep things in its context when you are speaking on it on a general scale, because it is generally a dictionary that most people understand, and it's generally that interpretation that people will lean on when they speak. So again, the references in which Brother Sheldon has given out, it is definitely something to download. It is definitely something to read in order to really know where to put things in its proper context. With that, I yield. Islam. Peace to the gods.
Peace, Mom. We got 9 minutes up. We're going to take it at the 3 hour, but I want Brother Sheldon to talk about his company, and I want Brother Kudjo to cook up. We're going to play a track from Iron Sheik, and I want him to give some information about his music, because we need to be supporting his brothers here. His information we get can save our lives. So I want the brothers to talk about what they're doing and how we can support them on the platform that they have at the moment. So we're going to take this one from Brother Ellie, and we're going to close the show at the top of the hour with a track from our brother Iron Sheik. All right, so keep it locked to the platform as we rise our vibration here on the stereo streets.
And can you tell me who is Ben Bay Emmanuel Mu Ali?
Alright, so brother.
They lie in history and call him Benjamin Banneker.
Right. So we're going to get to the conversation next, John. So the saying, great to have on the platform. Share the show. We are here every Saturday at the same time from 1 until 3 p.m. UK time. But Brother Kudjo, for the last 2 streets from now, we need to go for the 3 hour mark.
Yeah.
Which is a good number anyway, so we can work with the Trinity. We started with the duality.
Right.
So I think we're Trinity right now. So we give thanks to everyone. So Brother Kudjo, you know what I mean? I know it's Will of Allah.com for your music, and there's a lot of content and information that you leave there. I want you to give everyone on the platform a bit of information about that, and Brother Sheldon can definitely talk about his issues, business at the moment. And then we shall play the track out and close the show for today. But we give thanks for the beautiful vibration, the beautiful knowledge from each and everyone that passed through. It's mind-blowing. I can't wait to present this information on the radio so we can share with the entire nation. Peace and love to you, brother.
Peace. Well, the whole music thing is just so that Moors could have some Moorish content, as far as hip hop to listen to, spoken word, R&B, whatever. So, willofalah.com is the site where you could get your Moorish hip hop. You know, we got a couple of different artists up there who put out music. Brother Rakalel is up there. I think Sister Roots K. The compilation Wisdom of the Womb, which is, you know, a bunch of different Moorish artists came together to put out a project. And as well, I also authored books, and those are through our publisher, khalifamedia.com, which is our Moorish publisher. So willofalah.com and Khalifa Media, CALIFA, khalifamedia.com for all my books. Give thanks again, Brother Ikon. Give thanks to everybody giving their input. And I yield the floor. Islam.
Islam, brother. Peace and love to you. But quickly, Empress Reese, you know what I mean, Empress Invoking Voices. I like the platform is building, and we're coming together as a nation. I'm inviting you, Empress, if Saturdays you want to jump on the platform with us, feel free. Just let me know, and we can add you in, because definitely dropping some gems. Yes, Brother Sheldon. Peace and love, brother.
Peace and love. Kudjo, I don't know if you mentioned the Maradian album.
Oh, the Mordian album. Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's too crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm still listening to that all now still.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks.
Yeah, man. Well, yeah, I have my own brand. I started my own luxury footwear brand called Sakin Moor. I'm a footwear designer. I've been designing footwear for over 20 years now. I worked for, I keep saying the story, but these are the companies that people know. So people know Puma, people know Adidas, people know like Fila and stuff. I've worked for those companies. as well as other companies around Europe, freelancing and stuff like that. So I have my own brand. It's called Sakin Amour, which is SAKINAMOUR. Sakin is Arabic and Swahili for inner tranquility, and Amour is Latin for a love affair, love or a love affair. So Sakin Amour means a love affair with inner tranquility. This name that I made up and all that. So it's luxury footwear, and it's real luxury footwear. It's not an Italian template where I can change, the colors of the material, whatever. This is designed by me, conceptualized by me, and they're handmade in a sample room, which means that normally when you have shoes made, they make the first sample in the sample room just to get the pattern right, and then they put it on the production line so it speeds up. But the level of detail that I have in my shoes, they can't put it on the production line or else they'll mess up the shoes. So all of the shoes are made in the sample room by hand. All leather, high-grade leather, and debossed jacquard suede. You can go to sakinamore.com or my IG page, which is @sakinamore, and you can check out the products. Like I said, it's a luxury shoe, so the pricing is the highest price shoe is 350 euros, and the lowest price shoe is 240 euros. It's a ballerina for women. So, and once you get them, you'll see why it's that price. Like it's not anything fake like that. If you want to support, it would be great if you can purchase a pair. If not, just spread the word. Spread the word on your IG pages or whatever, and just get the word out, because the hardest thing for me right now is marketing and getting the word out. So, and to let you know how invested I am in it, I have 14 years of stories that I want to tell. All in my head. I already know what they are. And I just got another story that I want to tell a couple of weeks ago. So that's 15 years of stories. So, so it's a universal brand. It's a brand for everybody. It's not a Moorish brand. It's a brand by a Moor. Right? And so, check it out and leave some comments on some images and let me know what you think.
So, right. So, beautiful. So, our brother is here. He said if you can't buy a pair, share and support, because a lot of us have got these tags that we are wearing, because that's where their tags and the energy behind it is even killing us. It's Versace's and all these things there. And his brother told you the name that he made for his brand, beautiful, and the energy behind it. So support in every way that we can. All right, we have two more messages. We're going to take these two messages and then we're going to play a track from Iron Sheik. All right, so rise up, Empress Reese, rise up, Empress in vocal voices. Give thanks for your energy, man. We give thanks so much. Peace and love.
Peace, Brother Ikon. I am honored, and yes, I will present myself anytime I am available. For sure, you have my energy. Peace.
Beautiful. Thank you, man. Thank you.
My brother, you don't even need to say that. Promote your thing, bruv. They cost what they cost. That's the price of it. Because of everything. Do you get what I'm saying? It's alchemy as well. I can't wait to get my pair. Do you get me? I am saving up. Straight up.
Give thanks.
My brother, you don't even need to say that. Promote your thing, bruv. They cost what they cost. That's the price of it. Because of everything. Do you get what I'm saying? It's alchemy as well. I can't wait to get my pair. Do you get me? I am saving up. Straight up.
Yeah, but, give thanks, invoke him. But I know how our people are. Like, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? But then they'll put it out for, if they have a pair of Gucci shoes or whatever, they'll put it out for that. So I wanted to explain stuff, be transparent, and explain it. You know what I mean? And all that said, like, give thanks to everybody that joined today, man. Give thanks to, Brother Nine. I've got his full appellation. Give thanks for the comments and the questions, everything. Like, give thanks to everybody that tuned in. Appreciate it.
Beautiful. I would like the way this platform is growing. And as I'm saying, the more our purpose is to restore humanity and bring it back to the balance. So with that, we're going to drop this track from Iron Sheik. So give thanks for the vibration. We'll be here next Saturday, same time. We're going to go from 1 to 4 p.m. And then we can get the breakdown of the show. We'll be dropping some Iron Cheek on Tuesday, the Moor Ujima, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on the Galaxy, www.galaxyafuru.com. So we're dropping an hour and a half of this presentation now, and an hour and a half on Wednesday. And if you want to join in, we've got people in the UK and Africa, all around that call in on the show, elaborating on the recording. So there we have pre-dating next. I don't know how you stay for next Wednesday, Brother Kudjo. I was trying to book a show for you for next Wednesday and the following week for Brother Sheldon to come on and talk about issues business. So let me know if you're available for the next Wednesday.
Well, what time are you looking at?
I'm on from 1 to 4.
Oh, your time, or say regular time? All right, yeah, it should be good.
Yeah. Okay.
Wednesday coming?
No, not this Wednesday. The other one.
All right.
Wednesday.
All right. Yeah, keep me posted. That should be good though.
Yeah. So we're gonna go a full. I'm sure they're gonna need it for the full 3 hours because there's so much question they want to ask you. Your recording has been breaking up the Galaxy line, so it's beautiful anyway. It's beautiful, as I'm saying. It's good knowledge, so it's beautiful. And Brother Sheldon, if you're available for the other strong after that, then yes, I will definitely do the interview with you. So.
I'm here, Moor. I'm on your side, right? I'm only an hour ahead of you, so it's a lot easier.
Peace. Okay, so let's get into this track, Iron Cheek, and it says, study more. Let's get this track in.
Analyzed in the conclusions that I have reached, that a white man is no longer the devil, he is no longer bound to be evil. If I judge a man by his conscious behavior, I am not a racist. I don't subscribe to any of the tenets of racism. But there are good whites and good blacks and bad whites and blacks. It's not a case of being good and bad, good or bad blacks and whites. It's a case of being good or bad human beings. Alpha. What up, man? Iron Sheik. That's Alpha. I'm here to dispel the rumors. There is no hell or heaven. Fighting no preacher, fighting no reverend, for no role. No need for pressure on fam. Hope you even eat burgers made with ham. Thinking it's safe and plastic, not can. Thou shalt not kill fire on your halal lamb. If you uncuff and over in a standard matrix. The lunar escapes satellites by station. Universal law, sooner, thinking it's satellite owner. No more police copyright, friendly justice solar. Christ Joshua, takes wine from the vine. White Jesus, for more than the wine's half life. Paper notes are worthless, that's a quote. Set deposit here, Dr. Ben, that's a joke. Take notes, I see you need to study more. Yes, touch more affairs, so that you like it more. Coming ages like Lupe, kicking push. Rappers with the frolic flow, need a push. For one, confess up for more like J.R. Kelly. Tell her it's raining, while you're pissing on her belly. Keep pain, computer love, voice jacked up. No different if your computer got hit by hackers. Get away wearing paper tight jeans. Kanye in the pop section at HMV. Selling out. They love that deal. I'm like these Brad and Chappelle. Set up, love the meal. Love the caramel, doom in the nuts. Love to be up in the lodge. Love to stray in the front. You feel it, that your message, a parent message of love, that you go back from your mom and it's the real reason they're asking you because you're not as hard as they want you. Well, I want to say they try hard.
Peace. Give thanks to the vibration. So that was a good track there from Iron Cheek. Remember, check out Will of Allah. Look out for the information for the promotion of the shows coming up as we interview our brother. So we give thanks. So in the last verse you want to say before you go, Brother Kudjo or Brother Sheldon?
Peace and love to all, and to enjoy life. You know what I mean? Don't let these people get you mad and stressed out and whatever like that. Enjoy life. Love is all. Peace.
Islam.
Ashe. And like I said, give thanks. And yeah, man, exactly like Kudjo said, enjoy life. Life is always giving you always giving you gems and dropping stuff in your way, and once you know yourself, the more you know yourself, the more you know what information is coming to you, and life becomes extremely beautiful. Extremely beautiful once you know what's coming and not in hindsight. So yeah, I agree. Enjoy life, get out there, enjoy the weather. And yeah, see y'all next time. Peace. And please, yes, check out Sakina Moor and just check it out and leave me a comment.
And they're always on the platform looking for the show tomorrow, 1 a.m. my time. As we're saying, Moor schooling Sir Ludwig. So Moor is going to be schooling Sir Ludwig at 1 a.m. tomorrow GMT time. So we give thanks to all who can pass you and leave their vibration. Empress Teresi and Empress Invoking Voice would love to have you. I know it's late, you're probably sleeping, especially Invoking Voice. But yeah, this brother, we need to set him straight on the stereo sheet because he's been bashing the Moors and trying to paint a bad picture for us. So we give thanks. So we'll be on the platform tomorrow, 1 a.m. UK time. Peace.
If I'm up, I might join. Well, yeah. That's if I'm up.
I might call you and wake you.
You see all your Jamaican?
Yeah, wake up. Peace, bro.
All right.
Peace.
Islam. Peace.